Hi everybody, it's Hook and Irons 203 here, and something I want to talk to you guys today about is planning. Anybody that's been a part or currently is a part of the fire service, EMS service, police, military, anything like that, everybody knows planning is a very important part of not only big scenes that need incident command, but as well as car wrecks, rollovers, any type of scene really that we show up to, an emergency, any type requires a plan. So one thing I definitely want to say, planning and having a plan is what keeps people safe. You can go to training, you can you can do firefighting for 50 years. If you don't have a constant plan or a plan to fall back on when your first plan fails, then that's when people get hurt. That's when people don't know what they're doing, and you have so many people doing the same thing at one time or doing completely different things at one time. If you don't have a correlation between your interior units and your exterior units, and somebody ventilates a wrong window like that, you can have a problem. So planning and communication is a very, very important part of the fire service. First off, when you get on scene, if you're an EMT, paramedic, anything, you're always taught your scene safety and your BSI, or as firemen, you would be your PPE, your personal protective equipment. When you get on scene, you want to do your 360 look around. You always want to do a 360, no matter how big the situation is, how small the situation is. You always want to see every possible aspect of that scene. Whether it be a small car accident, you always want to take a 360, because if you get a small car accident with entrapment and you don't do your 360, and you start cutting on a door or something, or you use a sawzall or anything that create a spark, and you got gas leaking like that, you instantly got a problem. You got people hurt, you got people dead, anything. So it's important to do your 360 when you get on scene. Make sure your scene's safe, get your personal protective equipment on, and do your 360 walk around. It takes all of a minute, maybe 2 minutes if you do it, in depth. Always do a 360. Always look around. I can't stress that enough of how important that is. Next, you want to get, and this kind of falls into your ICS, but you definitely want to make sure that you know who's doing what. Say in the situation of a small car accident, you want to know who's going to be doing the extricating, who's going to be grabbing tools, who's going to be, around here, a lot of our firemen are the ones that help with directing traffic. So, we want to make sure that we know who's cutting off traffic, who's directing traffic, who's cutting on the car, if EMS ain't there yet, we got to know who's, holding the C-spine, anything of that sort. Definitely, actually, I want to back up real quick. I just remembered something. I want to back up to your 360. I forgot to say it, but this does include on your 360, you definitely want to set up your cribbing and anything like that. You want to get that vehicle stabilized first, because remember, in a scene, the victim's already the victim, and it does you no good if you become a victim yourself. And it's just always important to remember that priority is you, your partner, bystanders, and then the victim. That's 4. That's the order. You, your partner, bystanders, and victim. Those are the 4 that you gotta watch out in that order. That's who you gotta take care of. So now that I jump back to that after remembering that, I want to jump back to what I was saying. It's just important to, know what everybody's doing. So, say in the situation of a small car accident, it would be important for, your operations who are going to be doing the extricating. Maybe a few of your guys are trained EMTs or paramedics. You want to have them keeping an eye on the patient until the EMS gets there. I don't know if your guys' fire services run an ambulance and a rig out of the same house. We personally around here, our ambulance and our fire are 2 totally different buildings. so they're not run together. It's got its pros and its cons, but another thing is when you're how do I want to say this? When you're planning, you always want to expect the worst but hope for the best. So when you do your planning, keep in mind the worst case possibility of what could happen. Always keep that in mind and plan. I don't want to say around it, but plan to avoid said situation. If there's a possibility that something could explode on you, plan around that a little bit. Maybe, put certain guys in certain places, try to avoid that certain area. But getting into what this video is really about today, your planning, you're going to always have at least three plans. You're going to have your A, your B, and your C plans. And you don't plan your A, and then once your A fails, oh, let's go ahead and plan our B. No. Before you even do anything, you want to get everybody together that's going to be on scene, that's going to be doing anything, and you want to be, okay, here's our plan A. If plan A fails, here's our plan B. If plan B fails, here's our plan C. And hopefully out of those three, you'll have one that works, essentially. So the reason that's a good thing to do is it's good to have all three of your plans worked out beforehand, because if plan A fails, you can slide smoothly right into plan B, and it don't break anything. It don't, you don't have to pull guys back and replan. You don't have to waste time on scene. You can, and it just looks good. I mean, if you watch some of these bigger departments on the news or documentaries, a lot of them, they have their planning out. A lot of them are good planners, and you as a civilian might not see a whole lot of mistakes, and that's because they've got their plans in order, A, B, C, and they can just be like, okay, plan A didn't work, let's move on to B. Plan B starting to fail, let's move on to C, etc. So that's where definitely a lot of your success comes through, is planning. I can't stress it enough. Planning. That's really all I've got, guys. It's just a short, what, we got 8 minutes now. It's just a short video of what I think is a very important part of the fire service. It's your planning. Remember, do your scene safety. Always check your scene for hazards. As you get dispatched, think, okay, maybe this is a bad side of town. Maybe there's not a whole lot of info on this call. Maybe we're getting called to an unknown problem. You want to have your BSI or your PPE on. Don't ever walk on scene without your, personal protective equipment. Yes, I've done it once or twice. Is it a good thing? No. Does it happen? Yeah. But you got to try to always remember that. You want to do your 360 and your stabilization. That's an important part, because, like I said, the victim's already a victim, and you do them no good if you become a victim yourself. You want to make sure you're safe, your partner's safe, any bystanders are safe, and that the victim's safe. All four, in that order. And then you want to do your planning. You want to get your groups together, or who's going to do what, and you want to plan together as one big group. So you want to have your A, your B, and your C plans. And so that way, if one of them does fail, you can move smoothly on into the next one. So that's all I really got today, guys. I might post another video later on tonight. Been pretty busy. I apologize for that, but I hope y'all are safe. Until I see you next time, I'm signing off. Hooking Irons 203. Like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends. But thanks, everybody. Hope you stay safe.